Welcome back to Bonanza Disc Golf and to another Patreon sponsored Bag It or Bin It for a weird-ish disc. It feels a little funky. We're at Tom Brown Disc Golf Course, which is the home of the Open at Tallahassee, which was a Silver Series last year. I don't think it's on the tour anymore. We're gonna be looking at the Reptilian discs Chameleon. They're made by Gateway Discs, it looks like. I'll put the plastic name on the screen here. What's funky about this disc is if you go to their website, it says it's a 10-speed rim, but it flies like an 8.5, 5, -1, 2. So the numbers that they give it are 8.5, 5, -1, 2, but the rim is definitely a 10-speed, because today we're gonna be comparing it against the Infinite Discs Dynasty. Eric Oakley gave me this one. Feels very good, 9.5, -1, 2, as well as the MVP Tesla. I wanted to bring out the Onyx as well, but I decided not to because this rim does feel like a 10-speed, but it's very chunky. Like it fills your hand much more than these. These feel like sleek drivers. This feels like a chunky driver. So I imagine even though it's a 10-speed rim, maybe because it's a little bit more rounded instead of concave would be why. It's a very flat disc. It's got a little tiny dome. You can definitely see the injection point. It actually makes a little dimple in the middle there. I'm very interested to see how these things fly. I know Reptilian doesn't get a lot of love, but Adam, one of my patrons, just wanted me to make this. Definitely an interesting mold. With all Bag It or Bin It's, if I can't beat par with the disc that I'm reviewing, I have to give it away. If it's not Patreon sponsored, it goes on my Instagram for a giveaway. If it is Patreon sponsored, this is going to Adam if I can't beat par with it. Excited to give it a rip, and we're gonna start here on hole number 7. It's 260 feet, just straight uphill, but probably a forehand gap. All right, this is definitely the first hole. Not that I just showed you that whole entire sequence of me being a failure. That's just the hole that I would have to spend some time figuring out because I don't like that type of gap. But here we have 400 feet, par 4. We have this very closed down fairway here, which is gonna give me a good idea of how these will flip up and hold, because we're trying to go through that center gap. There's a creek down there that's about 350 feet. Maybe it's about 320 feet. If we get over, it's a really easy look up for the 3, but we're gonna start also with the Eric Oakley Dynasty. Throw these all on slight hyzers, let them flip up to flat, see if they turn at all, and then hopefully be able to just make it through this gap. This is also very tight though. That's not the gap I was going for. That's actually a better gap though. That's the gap I'm gonna go for from these two. Oh, I don't think that might be on the other side actually. That might be a really good shot. We'll see. See what we can do with the Tesla next and then see if the Chameleon is the same. The Chameleon does just feel different in your hands. It feels bigger, but it feels maybe just slightly too big for my hands. All right, I'm missing right. I'm missing right today apparently. Missed the first one right and it was perfect. Missed the second one right and it was terrible. All right, Chameleon. There we go. Oh. Well, we have forehands with the Tesla and the Chameleon. We can see how those hold. We will have some more open holes in the next couple that we'll be able to take a look at these guys on, but this is gonna be a very interesting flight. I think so far, just how I've thrown those, the Dynasty I've liked the best. It also was probably thrown a bit more than the other two, potentially, because the Chameleon is new. The Dynasty might be slightly beaten, not 100% sure. But we have a look for a birdie here. All right, we need to go through that straight gap for the chance for the birdie. Woo, this is a really high level shot if I can execute it. Okay, missed my gap completely. Get over the creek. It's over the creek. We have an up and down. This is where we really get to see. I think that the gap here has to be a little force over line. Just have to miss that tree on the left and stay straight up the gap. And we'll really be able to see if this is flippy at all. Because if it dumps out of it, it's gonna be really bad. But if it is its numbers, I could get this up for a birdie putt. It's its numbers. Oh, baby. Wow. What a freaking shot. What I meant by is it its numbers is when you have like a 9-speed or so that's -1, 2, if you throw something that has that -1, 2-ish on it, on anhyzer, it should hold it really well and then eventually like glidely finish. And so that's exactly what that did. And so I trusted that its numbers were correct, and it was. This is definitely a softer 4 because with 2 bad shots with the Tesla, I still have some sort of look. I split the gap, I was just way too left. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to leave you guys here because you'd never be able to see anything, but this is the gap that we have. So this would be really freaking cool. Oh, I knew it was never in, but I always was holding out hope. Alrighty, I really wish I could have got some better drives, but we still have 2 birdies, quote unquote, and a par. All right, our hole 2 here is very difficult looking. Never played this one before. Creek, again, is OB that runs along there. It's 405 feet straight up there. It looks like a big flex line, but since it's slightly uphill, I think that I can probably get inside of circle 2, maybe inside of circle 1 with a really good throw. Dynasty, then Chameleon, then Tesla. That's the order of the box. Throw it, touch of Anheuser. Doesn't need to be a lot because these discs should turn a bit, and we'll still see that, obviously. Oh, big kick. I kind of snapped my elbow a little weird on that one. Definitely turned. I just tried to throw it down the middle and it was a little more flippy. So I'm gonna try to keep this one a little lefter on that same baby Anheuser so it'll turn and go. Okay, that got smacked down. I was expecting that to eventually get a little more stable. Maybe it wasn't far enough down and maybe it would have, but it seemed like it was gonna hold that turn forever, which is nice because it held what I put it on, but I thought it would have that little -1, 2 and have that 2 be real. Here's the Tesla. That's the luckiest shot in the world. Sit down. Now it's an unlucky finish, but we got some up and downs from there. This is a really tough hole. Here is the Dynasty. Honestly looks like a flex forehand through this gap. Go in the basket. Oh, that was really good. All right, the best shot is probably just a big hyzer forehand here. Not big, but just hyzer forehand through this gap because the basket's behind the tree there, so. Parked. I'm pretty sure it's absolutely parked. All right, this wasn't the best shot in the world, but it's definitely the worst lie. It's close-ish. Oh my gosh, how do I even get up and down? I think my best bet is honestly a forehand roller through there. Keep curling. Stop going up the hill. That's a putt, actually. That is, whoa, I'm getting a little better at those. Oh, that felt bad coming out of my hand. Shoot, Tesla is over par. Really great shot with the Chameleon. I think the Chameleon kind of fits in those slots, but it does definitely fly slightly slower. All right, we are losing some battery. We got 3 holes left. This one is gonna be a par 4 on the A hole here in Tallahassee, 555 down to the right. So gonna have to play placement on the first one, probably a forehand out this gap, and then another forehand just to see how they fare. Oh my gosh. What the heck? I threw that flat, I thought. I know it's downhill, so that turns it, and it is kind of a headwind, but that Dynasty, I think it might be flippier than these other ones. Get back, dude. It started. No. Eesh, not a great lie on any of these. They just kept turning. They're definitely into a headwind, down a hill, gonna flip over on you. I could go backhand, but the basket is up that way, probably still about 400 feet. So just a chip forehand, get us into position. That's really good. It's gonna be a par, but par plays. All right, don't have the best angle on this disc, but we actually might be able to get up and down for a birdie here because we're far enough down. This is all dead and unattached and pokey, so that sucks. But big hyzer, basket is straight that way, probably under 350 feet, so. A really lucky forehand. Oh my gosh, that was supposed to be 30 feet to the left. Okay, the Tesla isn't all that crap right there. It's not gonna be possible for me to get an angle, so I'm just gonna show you me throwing it out. Just a chip out for the par. Sheesh. My camera says 4% and I forgot the battery, so hopefully we can get up and down and get all these putts in before it runs out of battery. Nice little skip up the hill, really bad shot. Good shot. All right, we're gonna just putt with the Chameleon so we can come back. This is a makeable putt, but not the best. Ooh, sit. Nice. Nice little par frame. Now I'm gonna go get a new battery and then 2 more. Whew. All right, it got so hot, so I had to change shirts as well, honestly, but that was a 20-minute walk back to my van. This is a big park. 2 more holes to play. So far, I feel like this is just a good neutral disc, but it definitely is slower than a 9-speed. Just gotta make sure the Chameleon stays under par. All right, this is hole 15 at Tom Brown. Just straight down there is the basket. It's 345 feet away, so pretty good fairway distance, especially with this low ceiling and tunnel. Since we are throwing them down the hill, I think leaving them flat, about 30 feet to the right of the basket, should have them turn slightly and then come back. But I don't need to throw them with a crazy amount of power. Stop lifting it, tailwind. Or go in the basket. Oh, short, really good shot. I thought the tailwind was gonna lift it too much, but not for the Dynasty. That's a flippier disc, just slightly. It might just be because it's beat in. Eric Oakley gave it to me. He might have thrown it a bit. I hadn't really seen it in his bag much, but it could be why. But the Dynasty itself just might be slightly flippier, which is kind of nice actually. That's kind of more of what I expect of a 9.5 -1.2. And now for the Tesla. Oh, those are pretty solid. That's a big skip, but we should have 3 putts, which is good. That's what you need on this hole. This is one that kind of feels like a musket, even though it's 340 feet, because it's like, oh, it's straight ahead of you on a backhand hyzer. So I think what's super interesting here is that these are all relatively similar shots, but I think it just shows how much slower that Chameleon is, because when it hit the ground, it didn't have as much speed, which is so interesting because it's a 10-speed rim. But I would say it is an 8-speed or a 7-speed equivalent, even though it's a much bigger rim. That was a bad putt out of my hand. Tesla? Oh. On to the finishing par 4. I'm pretty interested to see how these discs fare. They're gonna have at least one really big rip off the tee. More of a placement shot than a big rip actually though. And then the second shot, if I wanna try to get a birdie, which I do wanna try to get a birdie, that'll be interesting. Kind of sad that Tesla's over par though. All right, so all the way down there, you got a raised basket, which is gonna make putting a little bit interesting. 805 feet on the hole. This is a hole that averaged 4.5 at the Open at Tallahassee across all 3 rounds, actually slightly more if you average it. Out this initial gap, you kind of want to have it turn and get to the right of that tree that's all the way through that gap there, but that's about 400 feet. So it is slightly downhill. I think I can get there with these. I'm not sure if I can throw this Chameleon as far as these ones because it is slower. So we'll have to see. This is one that I'm like, I can birdie if I make a good putt or if I have 2 perfect shots. Par, I'm very, very happy with because that takes half a stroke on the field. Chameleon still has the box. Yeah, it's just more rounded. That's what it is. This is more rounded than bladed, which makes it fit very comfortably in your hand, I think. Nah, not for the Dynasty. Gonna try to keep it lower. Still put some power on it. Flip! Okay, Tesla. Dang it. Yes. Oh, baby. Oh, that's a really good shot. That's a really good shot. We are playing for par though with that Dynasty and probably the Chameleon, unfortunately. But if I can get a birdie with that Tesla, I mean, I've never birdied this hole. Played it maybe 4 or 5 times. 665 feet left on the hole, baby. I kind of want to try to lay down a roller. I don't think I have any chance of it being good, but I kind of still want to try. Now flip. Yes, Anthony. Yes, Anthony. I'm gonna have an up and down from there. Probably a little bit worse than I could do with an air shot, but I had way less trees to miss, which is, I'm really impressed by that. I suck at rollers, so gotta keep working. All right, from the Chameleon. Oh, that Tesla is another 100+ feet up there. This would have been a good shot too. Oh, any flashing or anything? I don't really feel any flashing. It hit some trees, don't have a lot of crazy damage on it. I think it's just gonna be a big flex shot. My goal, I think, is to get it down to that tree, either left or right, not directly behind it. Oh, that is flippier than a headwind, Anthony. You have a headwind. Hit that a little low. That went from easy to tough par real fast. All right, so for a 9-speed, this Tesla was a smash. 406, pretty good. So I have 400 feet in. It's just like I said, because of the way this plays, and because I need an extra 50 to 100 feet of power, like if I could throw a 450 and be down that next thing, I could throw a hyzer. Just don't have that option. And wow, this headwind is coming. Both my other discs are pretty close to each other. All right, this has to be a perfect shot. Gosh, wind, come on, let me birdie this freaking hole. No, Anthony. So high, out of my hand. Sit down. It's gonna be the easiest par in the world, but come on, I really wanted to birdie that. The amount of wind on this hole right now is dumb. It could be a forehand, but I don't think I have that forehand. And it would just burn it over with this wind. Get through, get so lucky. Oh, that is. Okay, this roller was sick. This was a great, pretty good shot here. This is slightly faster, so it should cut through the wind a little bit better and a better angle too. Might be inside the circle. Leave me with a crosswind putt. That was a good shot. So now, since I don't have to play a max distance forehand, I can definitely just throw this on forehand because I can keep it on hyzer the whole way, which counteract the wind. Up and down for bogey, man, that sucks. Hit it, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest, there's absolutely nothing riding on this Tesla, and if I throw this in, it's a birdie, so I'm gonna go for the throw in here. Low. Dynasty. Okay, that tailwind that just dropped both of those like a rock. Gotta practice elevated tailwind putts apparently. The Chameleon is under par. No giveaways. The question is, bag it or bin it? So this disc is honestly a super interesting slot. I wish there's a third category because I don't necessarily think it's a bag it, but I also don't think it's a bin it. I think that it's something that I want a lot of you guys, like if you can get your hands on one, to just feel. Because the feeling is very different. Like it definitely feels bigger than a 9-speed, but it also at the same time kind of feels more comfortable, but it also flies slower. I think they're totally right with that 8.5, maybe closer to 8 or 7.5 in terms of speed, but it's a really interesting disc. I'm excited to hang on to it and just kind of maybe play around with it a little. Just because of that, I have to say bag it because I'm not saying bin it, but maybe I need to make a third category. Let me know if you think I should. Also subscribe to the channel. Watch my last Patreon sponsor, Bag It or Bin It, which is the Saint versus the Escape right up here. Interesting because one of them has 7 glide. The question is that a lie or not? Okay, love you. Bye.